Is it, we good, maybe a little bit over there. No, let's put it back. All right, okay. Okay. Oh, deep breath. Right. Where do I start? Where do I start? Okay. Hello, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna do this. In 2 months' time, I will have held my motorcycle license for 2 whole years. And it's really crazy. In some respects, I've managed to achieve so many things. I've traveled, quite a considerable distance in the last 2 years. I've done quite a few trips, and I feel like I've done quite a lot. And in the same breath, I feel like the last 2 years they've just flown by. I feel like I'm just kind of, we're getting to the end of the year, and I'm like, where has it gone? And I can't believe that, after Christmas, I'll be going into my 3rd year as a biker. And, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And lately I've been, rewatching a lot of my old videos and seeing just the journey that I've been on for the last 2 years, from getting my bike to doing my CBT, my direct access, and all of those crazy journeys in between, learning to do mechanical things, all the firsts, like the first time off-road, the first time on track, my first ever camping trip, my first ever time at DIY, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been amazing having you tag along with me. Honestly, I can't thank you all enough. I'm just I've had such a fun time. And as much as I have had a fantastic time doing this, I've recently reached a moral dilemma, which is effectively, I've noticed a lot of people has started referring to me as like an influencer, and with that attracts a lot of negative attention. And I'll be honest, I've been very open from day one that YouTube is not my full-time job. I never want it to become my full-time job. I'm very content in having a work-life balance, and my end goal with this channel has never ever been at any point to make this my life. And I just want to reassert that is still the case. And I see these kind of comments about, me being an influencer, and for me that holds quite a lot of negative connotations to it, because I have absolutely no desire to make a living out of this, and I certainly have absolutely no desire to influence anyone whatsoever. And yet here we are, or here I am, and through no fault of anyone's really, because ultimately when you make the decision to put yourself in the public eye, I think a lot of people forget that it's not a podium that you stand upon and yell your opinions to. It's a two-way street. So, I can voice things, but also as part of being in that public eye, things can be voiced back to me. With a lot of the negativity and the criticisms for what I was doing, ultimately it came down to 2 choices, which was I could suck it up and deal with the comments and just accept them and accept the criticism, or ultimately I could stop making YouTube videos. And so I guess I regret to inform you that I decided to do neither. So what I did decide to do was, I was thinking about this. You guys know me, you've been following my stuff. Self-reflection is like a huge thing in for biking when it comes to me. I'm constantly turning things around my head. And I started to think, what if being an influencer didn't have to necessarily be a bad thing? And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce
A few months ago, I travelled over to Barton Airport just outside Manchester to visit the home of the Northwest Air Ambulance. You see, I didn't just want to pick a random charity out of thin air. I really wanted to understand about what I could do as an individual to help bring about positive change. I spent the entire day at the airport talking to staff, not just about the charity, but also about them as individuals. I learned that every member of staff all had a different reason for working with the charity, from pilots to admin crew and everyone in between. Most of all, what I learned was that every single staff member was incredibly dedicated to doing the very best that they could for the people who dearly needed it most. Danny and the staff gave me a tour of the base, explaining each and every part of the operations that they undertake daily and all the small components and pieces they constantly have to keep running in the background. And it wasn't just a case of flying helicopters around, it was coordinating blood bikers, paramedics, drivers, nursing staff, air control, fueling stations, landing points, police, fire brigade, mountain rescue, weather control, and even ambulances and hospitals. I could not believe the sheer amount of effort it takes for every single mission, just to save one life. And it's never just one life either. The crew do it day in, day out, 365 days a year. The thing that really shocked me the most that was, despite being such a crucial service, saving thousands upon thousands of lives, the service is completely reliant upon donations. They don't receive any public funding whatsoever. With the average cost of a mission being over £3,000, suddenly saving thousands of lives annually starts to really add up. And I knew that I just had to help in some way possible. Whilst I didn't have the talent or the practical skills that some of the staff at the charity had, I realised that what I did have was a goofy sense of coordination and a fairly decent set of storytelling skills. And just like that, I realised that suddenly this was no longer about me. Whilst I may have been given the key to a wider audience, suddenly this journey wasn't just mine to ride alone. Suddenly it was about all of us. And for the first time, I realised that I could do something much bigger.
So you're probably wondering, what is Safi Sprocket gonna do to help support the Northwest Air Ambulance? Well, it's very, very simple, guys. I'm gonna take the ferry to Europe with my tent and my bike, and I'm gonna go wild camping around Europe for quite a considerable amount of time. I'm really looking forward to it, as you can tell. I love being cold, apparently, and I don't think I have any sanity left at this point. But what I do have is a Just Giving page, which you can click the link in the description below. And if you want to join me on my antics, you can, of course, find every single video posted on my YouTube weekly from the 16th onwards. Now, if you guys do enjoy the stuff that I'm doing and the antics I'm getting up to, please consider giving a donation to the Northwest Air Ambulance, because I'm really keen to change somebody's life for the better. And the idea that we as a community could effectively make that happen, I'm very excited about. If you are unable to give a donation, don't worry, share it. Share the link, share the fundraising page on your Facebook page, on your Twitter, on your Instagram, because ultimately we all have a couple of friends who have a couple of friends. And the more that we encourage other people to donate as well, the more chances we have to raise money and effectively help change someone's life for the better. So, pop back on the 16th of October and I will start to put stuff up online from the road. Next week I will be making a video. You guys can join me. I will be packing for my trip. I have done a considerable downsizing effort in the things that I'm taking to Europe, which is already terrifying, but you will be able to see what I'm getting up to next week. I will be posting that video. You can check out all of the preparation that's going on behind the trip. First off, a big thank you to both Road Skin and Dunlop for supporting this trip and making it happen. I have been wanting to do this fundraising trip for the last 9 months, and it's been incredibly difficult to get companies to help support me on the road. So I'm incredibly grateful that they are just so interested in helping to support such an amazing, fantastic cause and potentially, you know, saving bikers' lives. That's ultimately what it's all about, is saving lives. And yes, okay, I am gonna have a lot of fun while doing it, let's be honest, I'm not gonna hide it. But I'm also doing it because I genuinely want to make a difference. You guys have been with me from day one. You've been there through almost everything from my CVT to my bike license to the first trips and beyond. And now we are going to be taking my first ever biking trip to Europe and my first ever fundraiser. So I'm really, really excited to have you all on board, and I hope the content delivers, and I hope we can all, as a community, do something good and, you know, put the good in good influencer. I couldn't think of a snappier title than that, but yes. So again, check out the link in the description below, check out Sappy Sprocket's Ride for a Lifeline. Until next week, I am going to head off and question my life. So until next week, my name's Sappy Sprocket, signing off.